Good afternoon, dear students. Today we will discuss about the rise and growth of the Gupta Empire, and especially the man king of the Gupta kingdom was Samudragupta. The time of this king was 335 to 380 AD. And before we start Samudragupta, we have to discuss a brief background of the dynasty. Background. First of all, after the breakup of the Maurya Empire, the Satvahans and the Kushan emerged as two large political powers. The Satvahans acted as a stabilizing factor in the Deccan and the south, to which they gave political unity and economic prosperity on the strength of their trade with the Roman Empire. The Kushan performed the same role in the north, but these empires came to an end in the middle of the 3rd century AD. On the ruins of Kushan Empire arose a new empire which established its sway over a good part of the former dominions of the both Kushana and Satvahans. This was the empire of the Guptas, who may have been of Vaishya origin. It is probably told by Wenchang. Although the Gupta Empire was not as large as Maurya Empire, it kept North India politically united for more than a century from AD 335 to 455. The original kingdom of the Guptas comprised, you can say, Uttar Pradesh and Bihar. At the end of the 3rd century AD, Uttar Pradesh seems to have been a more important province for the Gupta, and then Bihar, because earlier Gupta coins and inscriptions have been mainly found in that state. You can understand, if we leave out some of feudatories and private individuals whose inscriptions have been mostly founded in Madhya Pradesh, Uttar Pradesh will stand out as the most important area in respect of the find of the Gupta antiquities. Hence, Uttar Pradesh seems to have been the place from where the Gupta operated and they fanned out of different directions, probably with their center of power at Prayag. They spread in the neighboring regions. So the main king of this dynasty was Chandragupta. His time was 319-334. The first important king of the Gupta's dynasty was Chandragupta. He married a Lichvi princess, most probably from Nepal, which strengthened his position. The Guptas were possibly Vaishya. We have discussed already about this. And hence marriage in a Kshatriya family gave them prestige. Chandragupta seems to have been a ruler of considerable importance because he started the Gupta era 319, which marked the date of his accession. Later, many inscriptions came to dated in Gupta era. Samudragupta was one of most important king of this dynasty. We have to discuss and thoroughly. The first of all, we have to discuss achievement of Samudragupta Maurya. This is segmented in some parts like political achievements, important victories in northern side, in southern side. Samudragupta. The Gupta kingdom was enlarged admirably by Chandragupta, first son and successor Samudragupta, and he ruled 335 to 380. He was the opposite of Ashoka, because Ashoka believed in a policy of peace and non-aggression, but Samudragupta delighted in violence and conquest. His court poet Harishena, wrote a glowing account of the military exploits of his patron in a long inscription that poet enumerates the peoples and the countries that were that were conquered by Samudragupta. The inscription in engraved at Allahabad on the same pillar which carries the inscription of the peace-loving Ashoka. You know, we have discussed in Mauryan dynasty, Ashok established a lot of inscription in several areas. From one of that, it was a pillar inscription, and that was the Pariyag pillar. Yes. So we have to start. The place and the countries conquered by Samudragupta can be divided into 5 groups. Group 1, including Prince of the Ganga Yamuna, Doab, who were defeated and whose kingdoms were incorporated into the Gupta Empire, completely collapsed, and it was called Prashabodhwan policy. Group 2 included the rulers of the eastern Himalaya states and some frontier states such as princes of Nepal, Assam, Bengal, etc., who were mad to feel the weight of Samudragupta's arms. It also covers some Republic of Punjab, the republics which flickered on the ruins of the Maurya Empire, were financially destroyed by Samudragupta. Group 3 included the forest kingdom situated in the Vindhya region and known Avan Atvik Rajya, and they were brought under the control of Samudragupta. Group 4 includes 12 rules of the eastern Deccan and the South India, who were conquered and liberated. Samudragupta's arms reached as far as Kanchi in Tamil Nadu, where the Pallava were complete the recognition his sovereignty. Group 5 includes the name of Sakhaj and the Kushanas, some of them ruling in Afghanistan. It is said to the Samudragupta swept them out from power and received the submission of the rulers in distant lands, and that we can say it was foreign kingdoms. They were completely dominated by Samudragupta. Samudragupta spread even outside India. According to Chinese source, Meghvarman, the ruler of Sri Lanka, sent a mission army of Samudragupta for permission to build a Buddhist temple at Gaya. This was granted, and the temple was developed into a huge monastic establishment. If we believe the allogistic inscription from Allahabad, it would appear that Samudragupta never knew any defeat, and because of his bravery and generosity, he called the Napoleon of India. It is stated by Vincent Arthur Smith, and he wrote the book. The name of book is Oxford History of India, Volume 5. There is no doubt that Samudragupta firstly unified the greater part of India under him, and his power was felt in a much larger area. Thank you. Have a nice day. It is completely devoted for English medium students. They can delight with this lesson. With that, we will take on tomorrow. Thank you. Have a good day once again.